inaugurated 7 years ago, and I gave its inaugural talk in Pease Hall. The theme was Celebrate the Past and Embrace the Future. So I'd like to do a little bit of that today. I'm going to take you through a little slideshow of the past 7 years, and I just want to thank you all for everything we did together. So this should be fun ending to the forum today. And then at the very end, you'll see where I'm headed in the future. So let me come around so I can see as Casey goes through the slides. So first of all, look at all those students, enrollment growth. Okay, I can remember we talked about the 2,800 goal for freshmen. When I first started, the board had a 1,900 goal for freshmen. Okay, and we argued about, they thought it should be 2,100, and I'm like, oh, that's too high. Okay, now we're looking at 2,800. So it's just been amazing, and that's been through the wonderful welcoming campus we have, and everybody says to me how it's done, and it's done by hundreds of people doing their job right. Thank you for doing that. So enrollment growth. The Honors College has doubled in size since 2011. There they are in front of Starkweather Hall, and they have doubled in size, so that's been exciting. And how's that impacted the profile of our incoming class? The GPA in 2010 was 3.05, average GPA is 3.27, okay? Said it couldn't be done. The ACT average is 21, and it's now 22. Our advising, we mentioned earlier, and this is the Francine Parker Advising Center downstairs in the Student Center. We've added more advising throughout the campus. We've also enabled students to go online and advise themselves if they want to do that. So that has all impacted our enrollment. And at new exciting academic programs like the Physician Assistant Program. That's a case where even though we have a tight fiscal situation, we invested some money, and that is housed in our Rackham building. But we also collaborated with St. Joe Hospital nearby, and so we have a beautiful simulation lab and the cadaver lab at the hospital, which is beyond what we could afford. We pay a lease, and they use it for education. We use it for our other programs beyond physician's assistants, so that's just been a wonderful partnership that we both benefit from, and this is a very exciting program. Other universities seem to be able to afford tens of millions of dollars for medical schools. I wish them luck. But I'm very happy we got a master's program up, and that's a 2-year program that our students, even if they have to borrow the money, they'll get paid back with their 6-figure salary when they start. They may have some debt, but they'll pay it right back, and it's a very exciting program with huge demand in this area. So, facilities. We fixed up a few things in the past 7 years. New science complex. $90 million. When I started, the board was upset because they'd appropriated the money, it wasn't being built. So we got some shovels and we broke ground in November and we did it, okay? We're still waiting for the state to give us the last piece, Strong Hall, getting here. Why doesn't the state want to borrow money and throw us a building when money's the cheapest it's ever been? I'm just saying, okay, enough of that. Pray Herald. They said it couldn't be done. Wow, when I first came, went in there, I went, are you kidding me? People are coming from high school, now they're sitting in these classrooms with these really old chairs and stuff. And so we got an appropriation from the state to do Pray Herald, and we plan to do it in phases because it houses 10,000 to 12,000 students a day in classes, so we were going to do it floor by floor. And then we decided to do something really risky and crazy, which you all cooperated with, is we moved everybody out. We moved everybody out. It was called Swing Space. It was fun. People were running around. We had a little map. And we moved them out in May, 180 trailers full. A lot of it went to the landfill. And everybody fit somewhere else. The faculty moved into one of the towers, and classes were held everywhere, and as a result, we were able to open it the following fall, an amazing project, and reopen it, and that also saved a significant amount of money, which we were able to put into furnishings for the building. So that was a great example of campus collaboration that really worked. Now, I must tell you, in May, The board was a little concerned. They were talking about, do we need to get trailers? And I'm anti-trailer because if trailers come on campus, they never seem to leave, and I don't like the way they look, and why waste money on trailers? So John Donegan and I went over to McKinney, and we went down the basement where the old bowling alley was. And I'm standing there with John, and I said, well, John, how many classrooms do you see down here? He says, I think I see 6. And I said, okay, what else do you see? I see this, I see that. And I said, do you see it for $1 million? And do you see it done by August? He said, I think I'm seeing that. and with that $1 million, though, you also have to refurbish a great hangout space, so we have one on this end of campus. Are you seeing that? I think I'm seeing that. And so that was one of the first steps of revitalizing McKinney. It got a lot more students in the building. We added an Eagle Cafe, it had a hangout space, we've added advising, and now, you know, from bowling alley classrooms to the ballroom to the Brem's beautiful dining room, which they donated, and if you want to see it, you can donate some money, and somebody will take you to lunch there, okay? We now have alumni's moved in, the foundation has moved in. It's full, it's vibrant, and it's a front door to our alumni and students, and it's exciting to have that back in place on the other end of campus. And we are a historic university, and it actually has a place to display our history in the gallery there. And if you want to go over, there's an exhibit now in her shoes, and my shoes are there, my famous green shoes. Okay? So that's been fun. Rackham building. Our health programs are going there, and the first phase was physician's assistant. We're now in the second phase at Rackham, orthotics and health, dietetics, etc. Very exciting what's going on in that building, and that is accommodating the growth right across the street from Marshall of 17% a year in our health programs, which are in high demand, so we're excited about that. Department of Public Safety had new headquarters and additional dispatchers so that the officers aren't sitting around watching the 600 camera feed, and additional officers and lots more stuff. And it's been an exciting time investing in safety and watching the impact on our campus of it is one of the safest campuses in the United States when you look at our statistics. If we do have crime, we solve it, and we now, so that's been exciting watching that. Dining and living, resident hall renovations, dining facilities, Chef Tom and his team trying to do things to make fresh, exciting food on this campus. The indoor practice facility, the bubble, okay, and it is rented out to the community nights and weekends, which pay for its ongoing upkeep, so that's been a great thing to bring our community to campus. The Autism Collaborative Center, that is in the Fletcher School. When I first started, Jim Hawkins, who was superintendent of Ypsilanti, called me up. They'd been trying to sell Estabrook School, couldn't sell it, so then he called me up and said, university should really buy Fletcher School. They tried to buy it several years ago and we wouldn't sell it to them, but we need to sell the school, can't sell Estabrook, why don't you buy Fletcher School? And I said, well, A, I don't have any money, and B, what am I going to do with it? But we had just had a report on the Children's Institute, which was housed at that time in Rackham. And there were a number of, about $500,000 needed to be spent there for safety, for drop-off, for pickup, and all of those things. So it seemed like it might be a great idea to move them into a children's school. It might work well, and you could drop them off easier there, etc. And then we had a group of faculty that were on the hunt for a location for the Autism Collaborative Center. They had been in every nook and cranny in campus. The Fletcher School was in great shape. They had spent about $1.9 million fixing it up. So Donnie and I went over and he looked at all the infrastructure, and the only problem was we didn't have any money, okay? And, you know, I can tell these stories now. You know, my board didn't want to buy it, and the Ypsilanti School Board didn't want to sell it. So it was just Hawkins and I, and they wanted too much money for it, over $4 million, which I didn't have any money, and so we ended up buying it. You know, that's when I sort of scratched my head and I said, maybe I can do this job, you know? And at the opening of the Autism Collaborative Center, where all of the little children were there, and the regents all came, and they cut the paper chain. All the regents were crying, and they were so proud of themselves for buying me Fletcher School for the Autism Center. And I told them what a great idea that was. Which is how I got another year of my contract now. So, Trinity Student Center, we just bought that yesterday. This is going to be a fantastic facility for our campus. Again, it's a facility like Fletcher School that's in extremely good condition. It's ready to go, and the Honors College will be housed there. It's right contiguous to campus, and it's right behind Pease, and it will offer a lot of performance space for our music, dance, and arts programs, which will be wonderful. So we're excited about that. Beautification of the campus. Those rocks just keep breeding, and that's free, so, you know, and all that dirt we moved from the science complex, John Donovan and his team saved, and they planted it in swirly berms all over the campus, and we just keep sticking perennials in, and one tree and bush at a time, and it all adds up over time, so it looks pretty darn good now. And the grass is green because we fertilize it and mow it, you know, so the campus really looks nice. And people stopped littering when it started looking prettier, too. So we had sustainability efforts. Windows. You know, our cost of natural gas and windows, our energy costs were over 11 million when I came. They're between 7 and 8 million now. Unfortunately, there are still hundreds of windows to buy before we're done, and they're very expensive, but they really pay back in energy savings. And these are the wacky, wonderful windows at the Freshman Living Center that gave the building a little pop and look. So, tuition restraint. We're known for tuition restraint. And of course, that's that crazy year where we did the 0, 0, 0. And there we are all doing the big fat zero at a lunch by the lake. The one thing I can tell you, which was an unintended effect, and we didn't really talk about it at all, as you know, when I came, there were some reputational issues, and people just weren't that proud of Eastern. And 0, 0, 0, that completely turned that around. We became the best managed university in Lansing to this, you know, and we, our alumni went, wow, that's my university. The campus was proud of it, everybody was proud of it, and so you just couldn't buy with marketing what 0, 0, 0 did for our reputation to this day. So there you go. So, you know, it did thin our balance sheet, which we're now trying to repair. Increased financial aid. You know, that financial aid helps them stay in school and complete and persist toward a degree. They don't stop out, and they don't not come back then. So it's gone up from 21 to 42 million. We have improved safety and security, lots of lots of safety initiatives on campus. And the Washtenaw Safety Alliance, where we're collaborating with the community, Washtenaw County Sheriff, and Ypsilanti Police. The market analysis we mentioned earlier today, and the 2020 and the strategic plan implementation, and successfully completing a campaign. Invest Inspire is a $50 million goal, and we did $56 million. So we're proud of that, and the endowment now is actually climbed up. It's almost more than doubled since I started. And it's at 70 million. I had hoped to get it to 100, but probably have to stay 10 years, and I decided to only stay 7, so I could quit on 7 years, and yeah. If I'd stayed 10, we would have got to 100. So, building collaborative and sometimes feisty a leadership team that loves this place. You know, we really enjoy working together. We've handled a lot of crises. And sadness and controversial issues. We have social activists here, and I love them, but you know, they sit in my office and whatever. We have the things that happen in a day in our team, and then we're in and out of each other's office, in each other's face like magpies, and we like to challenge each other, and we love the place. So I'm very proud of that. The other thing about the leadership team you should know is they hired great people several layers down. So I think we've got some depth in the talent team now. So we had a Carnegie Foundation, again, renewed us for our recognition for community engagement. And Then there's some of the crazy stuff I did. You know, I kind of ignored most of the advice I got, and I kind of accepted pretty much any invitation. Like, why don't you rappel with us, President Martin? They didn't tell me you had to step up, turn around while supporting your weight. Fortunately, I grew up on a farm and hoisted hay bales, so I could do it, but I'm not going to do it again. And then there's Eagle Fan Nation. I wanted to build up a student section. We started with a few students that were cheering volleyball. Then they were at basketball. Walter Kraft and I went over and said, "Who are you guys?" They said they're the Conville Crazies, and they became Eagle Fan Nation. So I love them. Student government leaders. I see Stephen Cole here today. Always worked closely, I and the leadership team, with student government leaders, and I think we worked well to continue to get this university the momentum it needed, and always respected their priorities and tried to help them achieve them. And University House. It was a bit controversial when I came. And so Larry and I, my husband Larry up there, we just decided to invite everybody to, there's a story I read to my grandsons, which is, come over to my house. Come over to my house, come over and play. And for the first 4 years, we said, would you like to see it? Why don't you just walk every square inch and look at anything you want? And that really demystified University House. It has become a place that people really enjoy coming to, and so we've turned University House into a wonderful destination, and it has been heavily used, and I hope that it will be in the future. It's been a great asset to the university. And then there's always selfies with Sumar. You know, when I first started, the students really reacted to me, and I expected that honeymoon to wear off. But, you know, it's much to my amazement and to Larry's that it never did. You know, it just never did. So, what's the next chapter? I talked about that I'm moving on to the next chapter. Well, as I said at the beginning, you celebrate the past. My past, I spent 18 years at Grand Valley. And in early 1990s, when Marion Curtin fell, I started going to Krakow, Poland, to Krakow University of Economics, and I shipped them dozens of desk copies of books to help them build a curriculum. I've been going there since the early 1990s. Once I became a provost and president, I hadn't been there for 9 years. I went in the fall to Jagiellonian University's 650th anniversary, and it was wonderful to see my colleagues and friends and all that's happened there. And then this spring, it was the 90th anniversary of Krakow University of Economics and the 40th anniversary of Cooperation for Grand Valley. So I've worked with President Lovers. I went in the provost's office at Grand Valley when he was president, ending his tenure at 32 years. Have been to Krakow with him many times, and current President Tom Haas. And I expect I may do a little stint teaching there this year, so I'm reconnecting with old colleagues and friends in a place I love. And that picture is the last time I wore the presidential medallion. So, what's next? I'm going to have a little more work-life balance. So meet Teddy. And he is named after Tadeusz Kościuszko, who was a hero in Poland. And in Poland, if you go to Krakow, you will find Kościuszko Mound, a very high hill that people all over Krakow brought a shovel of dirt to commemorate him. And he liked Thomas Jefferson, so Tadeusz Kościuszko also came to the United States and fought in the Revolutionary War. So meet Teddy. And last but not least, my family has grown. When I was inaugurated, I had one grandson who was 1.5 years and came running up to me as I was walking out of the inaugural. I carried him out. We now have 4 grandchildren, a puppy, and 3 children, and my youngest son is getting married to Hannah next year, so I hope to spend a little more time with them and with you. So thank you.